Hello my loves and welcome to the Perfume Realm. My name is Manahil and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 gourmands you have never heard of. But before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you're interested in joining the realm, I highly suggest clicking the subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you can stay up to date on everything that is happening here. When you click on the little red subscribe button and when you hit the bell notification, it is helping me grow and it is letting me know that you support me, and I truly appreciate every single person who subscribes. Now let's get into the video. The goal with this video is that I'm hoping at least one or two of the fragrances, if not more, are new to you guys, just so you guys have new gourmands to look into. Now, if you are close friends with me, you've probably already heard me talk about some of these, or perhaps if you have been a long-time subscriber, you might have seen these fragrances pop up from time to time. But I still wanted to try and do the ones that are a little bit more obscure, even in my own collection, ones that I don't always talk about. So let's get started with the first one. So the first fragrance that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is Café Cabanel from Teo Cabanel. Now, this fragrance has become my ultimate gourmand this entire season, and I'm sure it's going to be the exact same situation in the winter because this is such an incredibly yummy, warm gourmand. Like, I'm not kidding, this has definitely skyrocketed to the top of my collection. I actually just recently talked about this one a little bit because I received it not too long ago. But since it is so gorgeous and one that I don't hear talked about as much, I thought it was definitely worthy of being on this list. So this perfume actually showcases two aspects that I absolutely adore in perfume, and that is being lactonic and also being thick. So those are two things I love. This has a beautiful note of milk in here, and the milk is nice and thick. It is a whole milk, nothing skimmed, nothing like that, a nice whole milk. And then there is butter in here, and the butter really becomes kind of this defining note in this scent because it is so thick and creamy and dense, and it adds this kind of smooth, velvety, thick and richness that you really can't find in a lot of perfumes. So I think that the butter note in here is absolutely genius, and it makes this super delicious. To me, this smells like an extremely high quality caramel mocha latte. So it is blended to perfection. There's caramel in here, of course. There's vanilla in here. There is heliotrope and coffee. There's also tonka in here, and tonka and vanilla are just beautiful. So the tonka and vanilla with that milky aspect and the butter, it just makes it so literally delicious. And then of course sandalwood to complete that whole smoothing, rounded out effect. This truly feels like a very expert master barista created this. So I did work at Starbucks for a little bit, and in Starbucks there is a drink called a macchiato, and I believe it means marked. And the reason it is called that is because on the top of the drink you pour the espresso shots in last and you don't mix it in. So you can actually see that the drink on top is marked. You see the mark of espresso at the top. Now that is a drink that is not mixed. A latte, however, is a very well blended drink, and that is exactly what you get in here. I honestly have truly fallen in love with the House of Teo Cabanel in general. At one point they had actually sent me their discovery set, and that is where I discovered Café Cabanel and my undying, unwavering love for it, because I went through that sample so quick it was ridiculous. And I do own another fragrance from here, plan on picking up more. So if you are interested in me doing a complete house review of Teo Cabanel, I can definitely do that for you guys because I have a lot to say. If you don't want to wait for me to do the entire review here on YouTube, you can always go over to my Instagram. You will find a bunch of different posts on this house and a review of all of their different fragrances. Alright, next up we have Lucia Brule from Kiss Perfumes. So this is a little indie house that does beautiful gourmand fragrances, and I decided to pick this one up, and it shares two notes from the previous fragrance I just talked about, and that is butter and caramel. Now this scent is a foodie scent. You know, Cafe Cabanel is the peak of gourmand, but the sweetness is tempered. It is done in a very measured way. Nothing is too much. Like I said, it's just very perfectly blended. And also there is milk in it as well. So it is a liquid at the same time. It's thick, it's dense, it's rich and velvety, but at the same time it's liquid latte type of feel to it. And that is one thing that this scent does not have. To me, this smells like a solid food, like actual food, and the butter in the opening of this has a slight type of savory aspect to it, as if there's a little bit of salt in the butter, so a salted butter, and I guess that is supposed to counteract the sweetness of the caramel. And the next element that is probably adding to how solid this scent feels is the beeswax. So there's straight up beeswax in here, very thick and dense notes, which kind of capture the caramel, capture the coconut milk and the musk, and kind of stifle them. So when you spray this, it just smells so highly concentrated, so foodie. And I would have to say that the very first time I sprayed this on my skin, I really wasn't feeling it because it was so overwhelming. I'm not sure what it is, but after a few times spraying it, it started to get actually quite good. I still need to kind of get past the opening blast a little bit before I can really enjoy it. This is kind of a novelty, cozy scent to me, not something that I would really reach for as a perfume, just something that I would spray to kind of experience it, spend a little bit of time with it, and have fun with it. But again, this isn't really a scent that I would spray and then go out. But I do know that people adore this one, and I do have to say it's very high quality, and I can tell it smells good. It's just not light enough or perfumey enough for me to wear as an actual functional fragrance. So this is Lucia Brule from Kiss Perfumes. Okay, so next up is a favorite of mine. I have an entire video dedicated to reviewing this scent, and it is Kulfi from L'Aromatica. This is the most on point Kulfi scent that I have ever smelled in my entire life. So if you don't know what Kulfi is, it is a traditional Pakistani ice cream. It is incredibly dense and it has cardamom in it. There's a lot of different flavors, but the main ones have cardamom and pistachio. So I'll tell you right here, as I smell this, it's just a beautiful cardamom infused creamy vanilla ice cream. What I just said Kulfi was, that is what this smells like. And it does have coconut in here, but the coconut definitely is in here just to enhance the Kulfi. Yeah, I would say that you have to be a huge fan of cardamom to enjoy this scent, because it is very cardamom heavy, and the cardamom really stays the entire time, and it starts to round out and become a lot smoother as it dries down. A lot more of that creaminess comes out, a lot more of the vanilla with the perfectly well done shaved coconut. This has really great performance. I would say that this lasts the entire day easily, and the projection and sillage is moderate, so it's there, but it's not like a ridiculous amount of projection and sillage. You know, this just makes me very sentimental, because it straight up reminds me of my childhood and eating Kulfi, my fingers getting all sticky because it's literally melting. All of that is packed into this perfume bottle. A lot of memories, a beautiful, delicious scent. All right, the next scent is a Dossier fragrance. So Dossier recently sent me a few fragrances to review, and this is one of my favorites that they sent me. It is called Oriental Cherry. So if you're not familiar with Dossier, basically They are a company that does fragrances that are inspired by other fragrances that are often a lot more expensive but very well known and well loved. So for example, this one is Oriental Cherry, and it is inspired by none other than Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. So basically the aim of the company is providing fragrances to people at a reasonable rate so that anyone can enjoy these incredible fragrances and not be basically restricted because of the price tag, which is a great philosophy, and the prices are really incredible, like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. Now, I'm not sure if these scents are $29 or $39. Recently on their site, I saw some of them listed as $39 and other ones at $29. So I don't know if it depends on the fragrance. And the quality of the fragrances overall have really been great, and I've really been impressed by them. So the only thing that I think the company could probably improve upon is their shipping and handling time. It did take some time for me to receive them. To me, obviously, it wasn't a big deal because I was just reviewing them. And then overall, I usually don't care about the shipping times because usually I just order something for me, and as long as I receive it at some point or another and the product is as described, there is nothing, you know, funny going on, nothing shady, I'm totally fine with that. I understand. But I do know that shipping time is very important to some people, so I did want to bring that forward for you to keep in mind when you are shopping so that you buy them with enough time for you to receive them. Keeping my integrity here on my channel is extremely important to me, so I did want to be very transparent. So another thing that I really enjoy about these fragrances is that when you receive them, you get this little box, and when you open up the box, they will give you a little card with all of the information about the scent, and there is also a little sample that is added to the box. It just comes with the box, and it is the sample of the fragrance that you ordered, so you can actually try out the sample, and if you don't love the sample for any reason, you can actually return the fragrance for a full refund. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a really nice concept. The product itself is made in France, and it is vegan and cruelty free. And when it comes to shipping, they're still a growing company, so they definitely just have to work out some kinks. I think that at the end of the day, when you actually receive the product, you will enjoy it, because I have so far really been enjoying the scents. So we can start talking about Oriental Cherry. So the scent is inspired by Lost Cherry, and I have to say that they did a really phenomenal job at replicating it. So I actually had bought Lost Cherry for myself at one point. It was just a plain cherry scent, and I really thought it would be incredible. I thought it was going to be amazing. People always talk about it. It came in this beautiful lacquered red bottle, and it was part of their more exclusive line. So I really thought that it was going to be an incredible scent, and it wasn't. So I was very let down. So I kind of just gifted it to a friend who really adores that scent. So I was like, okay, perfect. It found a home. Awesome. And I kind of went on and forgot about it. But recently there have been a bunch of fragrances that I want to add this kind of cherry note to kind of layer with it, or, you know, I've just kind of been craving a cherry scent again, and I didn't want to go and buy Lost Cherry all over again. I just figured that kind of cherry, as beautiful as it is, I should be able to find at least half the cost, and this is a lot less than half the cost. I personally find this one more interesting. The woodiness in here is beautiful, and it lasts a lot longer on my skin. Lost Cherry on my skin was literally lost cherry. The scent would just poof, disappear when I wore it. This scent knocks Tom Ford's Lost Cherry out of the park. If you are interested in Lost Cherry but you have been deterred because of the price tag, I strongly recommend Dossier's Oriental Cherry. This one I stand behind. Yes, there's a little bit of a faint cherry cough syrup vibe in it as well, but it is the same type of cough syrup vibe that you would actually find in Lost Cherry. So if you like that scent, then this one is great. If you are not one who really enjoys Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, then don't go for this one because it is an inspired by scent. There is a nice kind of cherry liqueur type of vibe to it. There's that kind of amaretto cherry. The notes in this one are cherry, almond, and cinnamon, cloves, rose, jasmine, and plum, and the base notes are pure balsam, tonka bean, and vanilla. This one will last a long time. I honestly I'm impressed by the longevity in general because cherry scents tend to really kind of evaporate quite quickly. Like they'll be there in the opening and then be gone. I guess they're very volatile, but this scent, the cherry, lasts for a very, very long time. You guys, this one is good. This one is so good. I'm so happy that I requested this one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is so nice. Oh, by the way, the bottle itself is really nice. It has a little magnetic cap. And now, after talking about this one, I had to bring up the next scent, which is Irresistible Deliceuse from Givenchy. And the reason I wanted to bring this one up second is because this one is a cherry tart type of a scent, and the cherry in this one is quite tart, but I think it kind of goes away quicker than it should. So I do layer it with this, and this not only makes it a little bit sweeter, it definitely extends the scent. These two paired together are delicious. They're beautiful and yummy, and I highly recommend this layering combo in general. Every single cherry lover needs to check this out. And if you want to make it a little bit more of a gourmand, like a complete gourmand, you can add Givenchy's Irresistible Deliceuse to create a fantastic scent. So this one has an accord of French pastries. There's bitter almond in here because of course when there's cherry in a scent, there's definitely almond somewhere backing it up. And then there is the orange blossom, vanilla, musk, and caramel. So a very gourmand treat, but I find that sometimes this one will fall a little bit flat, or it will need a certain kind of oomph to it. And I do enjoy this, but I enjoy it so much more when I do layer it. And before I had the Oriental cherry, I would layer this with a vanilla perfume because the only other scent that I had that I could pair with this without it clashing. I haven't really used this big bottle a lot yet, but I do know I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of this, especially during the winter, because there is this kind of festive holiday dessert type of feel to it, like a holiday fruity dessert. And the cinnamon in the Oriental cherry paired with this kind of gives it that kind of holiday spice. So again, a beautiful combo and a beautiful scent. Alright, next up we have a fragrance that is newer to my collection, and this one is Killian's Black Phantom. So I think that I prefer this scent on men a lot more than myself, and so I do see myself kind of giving this away soon because I've been trying it on myself and all I get is this really bitter peanut butter type of vibe. The opening is way too nutty for me, and then there is this immediate woodiness that is right under that bitter nutty almond, and I pick up a little bit of like a mahogany or an oak wood type of vibe along with sandalwood, which is the only wood that is listed, not oak or mahogany. And the thing is with sandalwood, I really am picky when it comes to sandalwood because sometimes when it is left a little bit too bitter and too dry, I don't like it. It comes off a little bit weird and I just don't enjoy it. I think that's what happened with the fragrance This Is Her from Zadig and Voltaire. I really couldn't get with it, and I think it was probably because of the sandalwood in that scent. There's also coffee in here, there is dark chocolate. The dark chocolate is completely unsweetened. There is sugar that is listed. I cannot smell the sugar. To me, this again is just overall a very bitter composition. On me, it didn't smell as gourmand and beautiful as I wanted it to, and I'm really surprised because, like I said, on a man it's perfection. On me, I really could not stand it. It actually makes me a little bit sick. That's how nutty and bitter and strange it is. Rum is also listed in here. I don't particularly pick up any type of rum. A lot of other people do. I'm sure that's because their nose is getting past that kind of nutty almond scent that is so overwhelming for me and kind of masks the rum that other people are picking up on, because I don't get the rum, I don't get the sugar at all. This is also a very dry, dehydrated scent. The reason I think I get peanut butter is because of the mix of the unsweetened dark chocolate with the almond. In fact, I wouldn't even say peanut butter, it's like almond butter. Not because of the creaminess, because none of the creaminess translates into this fragrance. So not creamy butter, but like the scent of almond butter or peanut butter is definitely in here. The performance is also very disappointing. Now for me, since I don't enjoy the scent itself, it's a good thing. But if I really did love this scent, I would be very annoyed with how poorly this performs, especially when you're shelling out the kind of money that you do for a Killian fragrance. But the bottle itself is really pretty with the gold cap and stuff, but I'm probably just going to be rehoming this scent. So I'm not really trying to trash this because it's not a trash scent. On me though, it is absolutely horrible. On me, it just does not wear well and I didn't enjoy it. But I wanted to list it in this video because this video is not about my top most favorite fragrances. These are fragrances that you might not have heard of or dabbled in, or you know, it's not talked about as much. All right, another gourmand scent is another fragrance from Dossier, and this is another fragrance that I was very impressed with. And let me tell you, if I wasn't impressed with the scent, I wouldn't be mentioning it. You know, they sent these to me for an honest review, and I am pretty ruthless when it comes to reviewing things I don't like, but I really did enjoy this one. And this one is inspired by Baccarat Rouge 540, which is a big claim to make. Like it's very ambitious to go for Baccarat Rouge 540. That is, you know, the scent in the fragrance community, but they did a very good job. I would say that out of the multiple different Baccarat Rouge fragrances, dupes or ones that people find similar, out of all the ones I have tried, this one comes the closest. This one is closer than Instant Crush, closer than Cloud, and far more closer than Burberry Her. Oh my goodness, I did not like Burberry Her, and it was also like nothing like Baccarat Rouge. It smells like that kind of burnt sugar, a little bit of that iodine-ish kind of opening that Baccarat has. But it works with Baccarat, that kind of iodine, burnt sugar, yummy, sweet, beautiful, elusive creature that Baccarat Rouge is. They captured it pretty well for a fragrance that is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the price. To try and tackle Baccarat Rouge is no small feat, but I think that Dossier did a great job. So the notes in this one are saffron and orange blossom. The middle notes are jasmine, plum, and cedarwood. And then the base notes are oak moss, fir balsam, and amber. I would say that the saffron in here is exactly like the saffron in Baccarat Rouge. It is, you know, it has that kind of slight medicinal vibe to it, but at the same time that kind of sweetened aspect to it as well. This one does not last as long as Baccarat on me, but I have to be honest, when I wear Baccarat, after a while I become completely anosmic. I'm already sometimes a little bit, it'll come on and off, like it will come in wafts. Sometimes I can smell it really strongly in the opening. Sometimes I'm not able to pick it up completely. It kind of, you know, pulsates throughout the day. But the more and more it dries down, I definitely do become anosmic to it, but other people are able to smell me when I have it on, and I'll get compliments and not be able to even smell it myself anymore. So this one I don't think has insane longevity, but it also might just be because, similar to Baccarat, after a while I'm not able to pick up on it anymore, and I'm not out and about in public enough to have people come up and tell me that they can smell my sillage and I smell amazing. I adore Instant Crush. I think Instant Crush is an incredible scent. It's beautiful, but it's not Baccarat Rouge. I actually like Instant Crush personally more than Baccarat Rouge. I really love it, but I do not find, I find maybe they fall in the same category, but there's a whole different vibe and density and a whole other thing going on with Instant Crush, so that I don't think it is the most suitable alternative. I think that this one is the closest to the actual scent. It holds true the closest to the actual scent of Baccarat. This is just me being nitpicky, but you know, the labeling sometimes has little air bubbles in it, and it's just a suggestion for them to improve upon that, working out the kinks in shipping and, you know, the quality control when it comes to the labeling and all of that will just help the brand go to another level. I wanted to put a few affordable fragrances on my list, and Choco Musk from, I think it's Versace or Haramain, I'm not sure, I'll have to check on that. This is a powdery vanilla powder with a little bit of a cocoa type of vibe to it. So like Cocoa Puffs, the powder of Cocoa Puffs, that's what this smells like, but leaning a little bit more on the vanilla end. Like it definitely has an unmistakable chocolate vibe to it, but there's also a lot of vanilla, but it's all powder. It's very powdery. I really love to layer this one with Orchid Vanille from Van Cleef & Arpels because both of them have that nice powdery aspect to them. This one is super sweet, very yummy, and it lasts a very long time. So if you're looking for a gourmand that is yummy but very affordable, then this is a really great one to go for. Like, maybe you might get a little bit of Play-Doh vibe in here. Like I could see maybe some people picking up on it, but to me, I don't really get the Play-Doh aspect. Like to me, it's just a proper gourmandish, powdery vanilla chocolate scent. It just straight up smells like if you empty a bag of Cocoa Puff cereal, the little cereal dust that is left in the bag, that is what is in this bottle, and I highly recommend it, especially for layering or just a cozy, easygoing scent. It's really nice for bedtime as well, especially in the cooler months. Okay, next up we have this beauty, and this is Perdizione from Nobile 1942. I'm already a really big fan of this house. This house produces some incredible fragrances. One of those fragrances has been gaining a little bit more popularity recently, and that is La Danza de Libellule. That is one of my favorite fragrances ever, and it is from this house. Now, Perdizione is more of this beautiful, herbal, bright, florally marshmallow scent. There's lavender and lemon in the opening, so very bright and slightly sharp. There's also neroli in here, there's orange blossom, petitgrain, which I think is truly the distinguishing note in this scent. I would say that when everything has finally dried down to the very, very like last stage, it is all about this beautiful scented billowy vanilla. And by scented vanilla, I mean like the vanilla is literally infused with all of these invigorating notes of, for example, the lavender, the orange blossom, the neroli. There's also ylang in here. Like, it is just such a gorgeous composition, and the opening, you can smell the different aspects, and the more and more it dries down, the rounder it gets, and then it really eases into that marshmallow-esque scent as it's drying down. But it's beautiful because it doesn't just rush to that marshmallow puffy component and oh, there you go, that's it, that's the scent, it's just a marshmallow scent. There's a lot going on, and you really get to kind of enjoy an entire experience with it. The petitgrain kind of adds a little bit of this, oh my god, this is so good. I don't know how to explain it, but the petitgrain, like, there's almost a little bit of a soapy element to it in the beginning as well, and I mean it in the best way, and a very, very expensive soap at that, not some kind of cheap soap, but there is a little bit of soapiness in it. Very sweet though, not like weird soapy. I think soapy can have a very negative connotation, but that's not the case at all, and eventually that goes away anyways, and it does become that really nice, beautiful, marshmallowy type of scent. This is similar to Guimave. It's not similar, like they are not dupes, they are not the same type, like same scent whatsoever, but the concept is kind of similar, where they start off with these kind of invigorating herbally type of notes, and then come together to create this really nice, beautiful, fluffy, velvety vanilla scent. And they both have the same thing, but this one is a little bit sharper, a little bit more niche, a little bit sharper, a little bit more dynamic. You know, Guimave is not linear whatsoever, but when compared to this one, it is a lot more linear. This one is very dynamic. The opening, all of the components are kind of separate, and then as it's drying down, they kind of like, you know, come together. Whereas in Guimave, they're all separate, but like not too separate, and so they blend together quickly and easily, and so you're not challenged enough before going into the beautiful dry down. And if you want a scent kind of like Guimave, but you're more of a niche nose and you like things that are not, you know, super easy on the nose, I think that this one would be a good way to go, because this one is a lot more interesting at times. I would have to say that this one is more interesting, that one is more comforting, and this one is more interesting. The very last gourmand scent that I wanted to share with you guys is Veni Apricot from Sud Pacifique. So this one has at one point or another been on my channel, but I don't talk about it a lot. That is because sometimes I consider it more of a body mist, and so I just forget to add it to videos. But in reality, it is not just a body mist, because the quality is a lot better than just a regular body mist, and plus the scent itself is a lot more exciting and unique. Whenever I describe this scent, I say that it smells like an apricot cream soda. So if you've ever had an orange cream soda, this smells like the apricot version of it. I've never had an apricot cream soda. I don't know if it exists, but if it did, this is what it would smell like. So this has a very nice, smooth, creamy blend of vanilla and apricot, but in the opening there's almost this kind of sparkling effect, which really reminds me of the soda in a cream soda type of drink. That kind of bubbly fizziness that you would find in a cream soda is definitely in here, until it fizzles out into that really beautiful creamy vanilla and apricot. It's almost like, actually, let me change it. So instead of saying an apricot cream soda, I want to say that this smells like an apricot cream float. So if you don't know what a cream float is, typically the one that I get is like orange soda with a big dollop of vanilla ice cream in it. But if you want to think about this one, an apricot flavored soda or pop, and then you put in the vanilla ice cream, you plop it in, and it kind of starts to melt into the soda. The ice cream starts to melt into the soda, and there you go. That's what a cream float is. So this one is an apricot cream float, and it is so beautiful and light. This isn't a very heavy scent. It's not heavy, but it is present. It is present, not heavy, and very charming and cozy. So I do enjoy wearing this when I am at home. It's perfectly fine to wear out too, but it is the most comforting when I am at home. All right, you guys, that is going to wrap up my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed me sharing these fragrances with you, and I'm hoping that at least one or two of the fragrances are new to you or new-ish. And I tried to kind of dig through my collection and switch things up a little bit. Let me know if there's any gourmands that you love and you want to share with me that you don't think I have ever smelled, and also let me know what you think about the fragrances that I shared. Are there any that you want to go check out? If so, again, drop me a comment, talk to me, and I will talk back. Thank you guys so much for sharing your valuable time with me here today as we sit and chat about perfume. I really hope you guys have a good one. Bye. You guys, I don't even know. I'm like not feeling good and not like in the mood to finish this.